Hello, and it's Vulgate Fridays for my patrons and for any who might in a later time see these online. So we're in Genesis 1, and we've done verse 11 this week, first in Hebrew, then in the Septuagint, and now in the Vulgate. I'm still unpacking here at Houghton College, but I think I've been able to piece out some of the vocabulary here, So here's my translation. And he says, let bring forth, let germinate, let the land, let the terra firma, let the land germinate, green herb, green plant, and plant making seed. This I assume goes with herbam, and fruit-bearing tree making fruit. Yeah, according to its own kind. Genus. Quius, whose seed is in itself. It's an interesting expression. Might be upon the land, and it was made so. By the way, I think I'm going to teach a 8-week online class here at Houghton from basically March to April at Houghton College, Houghton Online. I'm calling it Latin for today. Its technical name is Introductory Latin 1. But I'm going to try to focus on Latin phrases that you might encounter in an ordinary kind of life. Latin for educated person, so you know what a quid pro quo is, or a sui generis, maybe a bad pronunciation, but or ipso facto, these sorts of phrases you sometimes hear smart people say. So if you know anybody who might be interested from high school till lifelong learners, you can audit it. There'll be live sessions if you want to audit it. But an 8-week Latin class of a sorts beginning, I think in the beginning of March or end of February, but I think beginning of March, 8-week class at Houghton Online. It's probably not real clear where you would sign up for that yet, but it will be. Okay, translation. Ait. This is and he says, it's a fairly common Latin expression. And he says, let germinate. So this is a subjunctive. Let germinate, let the land germinate, let the land bring forth green herb. So this is, I think, the word for green. And making an herb making seed. The word for seed should be memorable, easy to memorize. And fruit tree making fruit. Okay? According to its own kind. Whose, this is genitive, quius, whose seed is in itself. Semit ipso. I did not know, I knew ipso, of course, but I didn't know semit ipso. In fact, I think one Vulgate made that just one word. I don't think I have my Vulgate in the office right now. But this is an expression that seems to mean in its own self or something like that. Might be this subjunctive, whose seed should be on the land, and it was done so. Okay, so there's my translation. I'm using a mic today, by the way. I decided occasionally Darth Vader shows up in these recordings, and I wonder if using my mic will prevent that from happening. So tell me if there's any kind of disturbance, demonic interference, as has happened occasionally. Okay, so let's do some parsing. Ait, I think ait is just a present indicative third singular, present active indicative third singular. I'm not even sure what it's a third person word. It just doesn't really appear in the first person, I don't think. Germanet, you know her. This is subjunctive, which suggests to me that this is probably an A conjugation. I didn't look it up, but when you switch the vowel letter, that's a way to make a subjunctive, present active subjunctive third singular from Germano. Not Geronimo, but Germano. Not Germano. So this is accusative. It's a third declension noun, I believe. So the NT shows up in the third declension, and this is an accusative singular ending. The M is often an accusative kind of ending, often, not always. So let the land bring forth green seed and herb making seed, green herb and herb that makes seed. This matches. So you see the commonality, the things that match with herb all have the M or kind of accusative thing on it. This is a participle from facio. NT is a sign of a participle. In Greek, I say my aunt is an active participle. Well, that we're one big happy Indo-European family. The unt also is a participle in Latin. So this is a present active participle from facio, but it is accusative feminine singular to match herb. Okay. And fruit tree making here, this is a present active participle, same present active participle, except this is nominative singular, nominative masculine, or nominative masculine singular. Although, yeah, it has to be. Okay, I believe. So I don't think it's neuter. That's what I'm lignum could be neuter, but well, okay. This would normally be a masculine form. Making fruit according to its own kind, its own genus, its own genus. Whose, so this is the relative pronoun. Qui, quae, quod, quis, quis, quis. This is of whom. The seed is in itself, in its own self. Okay, now sit is from sum. The T, it's third person singular. It is subjunctive. So it's present subjunctive. It's a to be verb, so I don't do voice. Third singular from sum. Ex nihilo nihil sit. I think that's an expression. From nothing, nothing should be. Okay. And factum est, we've seen before, it is the perfect passive participle of facio, third singular. Okay, so that leaves us with the Latin, which is pronounced something like this: et ait germinet terra herbam virentum, et facientem semen, et lignum pomiferum faciens fructum. Juxta, that should probably be an I instead of a J. Juxta genus suum, quius semen insemet ipso, sit super terram, et factum est ita. Okay, this is the Latin. By the way, I'm going to be, another thing, a lot of announcements today. I'm going to be basically, I think I'm going to be self-publishing my Greek textbook, going chapter by chapter, and I'll be putting the 2 videos for each chapter on YouTube. One will be the lesson, and the second will be the exercises. And I'm doing this for some Wesleyan pastors, but it'll be free to anybody. But at some point, I won't be able to do all that and the Vulgate and Septuagint. I'm going to continue with the Hebrew, at least through Genesis 1. Well, we'll see what happens. For the time being, I'm going to try to do it all until I figure out exactly how to do it. I also want to remember that those of you who are my patrons are donating money to me, and so I want to do things that are useful to you all, and are not immediately available to the public. Well, so on we go. Genesis 1:12 in Hebrew, Lord willing, on Monday.